Good morning, everybody. I'm Old Man Sugarheart. Today we're playing Sovereign Syndicate. We're about to go to the werewolf bar mitzvah where everybody is going to die. They've got the answer to every question there. Like, theoretically, the courtesan killer's there, my mother's there, the orphans are there, steam-powered repeater rifles are there, werewolves are definitely there. I think everything's gonna kick off right this second. So let's not waste any time, shall we? Better make sure I'm done with what I need to get done in London. Once I'm out in Braxton, I don't know if I'll make it back tomorrow or next week. The party's a good one. Don't get ahead of yourself, Atticus. There's still much to be done, in sober fashion, that is. Well, it's still not a trap. Hello. Yeah, I don't know what to expect. Let us just go. Good morning, Enrique. Oh, chapter 14. Braxton Manor. Following up on a hint from Molly, you learned that from Ivana that the courtesan killer's letter is a fake. Every clue is bringing you closer to the culprit. A feeling that is full of excitement and danger. You picked up your costume for the party at the manor, then embarked with Tenor and Iron Bear on the ferry. Manor moves with a life of its own. Lord Braxton has pulled strings to divert hydroelectric power from the nearest dam, making it the first English house to be wholly lit by water-spun turbines. Hasty liaisons of gentlemen and escorts creep down the rose garden path every night. Lord Braxton's love of soirees being unending. Also unending is Lord Braxton's desire to flaunt his status, with paper lanterns, bonfires, and even dirigibles gracing the manor's grounds and skies whenever special occasions unfold behind the manor's closed doors. This place is an ode to wealth and to detachment from the harsh realities of London life. Why, what a cozy little estate. Particularly in this dreary rain. Cozy is not how I would describe Braxton Manor. Just up the hill from the ferry dock. Clara Reed? Piss off, you louts, out of my way. One Sam Hill is all the racket. Clara, my dear, there's some poor house chap shouting at you. Clara Reed. And who might you be, lad? Good evening, Atticus. Might I ask what has you in such a state? You know why I'm here, Clara. The tin you lifted. Must say I didn't expect him to follow me here. I heard of your run-in with Jemmy last night. Had one of my own, in fact. I know the winnings were part of Molly's ploy. All the same, perhaps an apology is order. Yes, well, I suppose that might go some way towards settling things between us, though I can't say I enjoy being rooked while on the nod. That's quite fair. Now, Sweet Pea, if I follow this nice and clear, am I understand you hornswoggled this cowboy in the most literal sense, mind you, as he slept? That's about the gist of it. Whew, ain't that a proper outlaw move? That's my Spitfire adventurous at work. Mr. Daly is practically fuming. Tenor's laughter fades, perhaps noticing he crossed the line. I could suggest Tenor pay off Atticus to make it right. I mean, I don't have much respect for this old man. Let's just see if it goes well. I know you're facing some rather rough times as of late. Perhaps my dove tenor might take pity on your situation as an olive branch of sorts? Whew, well, why not? If my little Spitfire wants it, then I could see my way to giving one of her friends a leg up. What do you say there, Sprout? Consider a thank you for the fine story. Atticus may not be thrilled with Tenor's temperament, but he's not so proud as to look a gift horse in the mouth. I'd be open to the idea. Tenor makes a big show of fishing out a banknote. There you are, £5. Don't spend it all at once. Now come on, Spitfire. Let's get a move on. Miss Reed, before I forget, one last thing. Though perhaps it doesn't matter much in the end. Yeah? Well, I was the one who stumbled upon the body of your coworker this morning, and I thought I should tell someone who might care. As it happens, I've been looking into the murders myself. And the information he has could be pertinent. Let's hear him out. What would you like to share? The body was a wreck and the furniture was topsy-turvy, as if it's been thrown about. I saw much the same in my own investigation. What struck me as odd, though, was the smell in the room. And I bet it had blown off by the time the coppers showed up. A particular smell. It smelled like perfume or incense, strong notes of bergamot and rose. Familiar enough in a bordello, but I thought I might mention it anyway. Bergamot and rose. Most likely Flores de Bulgari. It's quite a popular scent, so I'm not sure it's much of a lead. There's a bottle in Zora's flat. I found a bottle of Flores de Bulgari in Zora's flat. Suspicious, to say the least. I should track her down post-haste. Thank you, Atticus. This information may yet prove useful. Good luck to you then. I hope you catch the wretch and put a stop to these killings. Shall we take the coach? The rain is really coming down. Daily boy, you'll be catching the next one, eh? Not enough room for all of us. Sure, I'll wait for the next one and see if I can't scare up a bottle of gin in the meantimes. Safe travels, Atticus. You know, I really do think it was probably Madame Zora who did at least this murder. The fresh air makes a nice change from London. No offense, Miss Reed. None taken, Tenor. London is not my city born nor raised. It is merely where I spent the last few years. I'm glad to hear that, Sweet Pea. Quite glad. If you'd be so inclined, I'd love to treat you to the big blue skies of Texas someday. Not exactly subtle about it. Just enjoy what we have right now, wouldn't you say, Dove? You'd love it, Spitfire. I'll take you on a proper riverboat. None of these meandering steam machines. We'll take a gas-powered trip up the Mississippi. Now that's power for you. And I'm quite sure the freshness of the river does not suffer for it. Not that I have a leg to stand on after living with the miasma of the Thames. I've been making a killing selling to Cajuns. We're working up a seaworthy version, you know? See if we can't get the Seminole Peninsula hooked in. Perhaps the Zulu in time. Discuss my past or my family. All of those seem kind of like out of nowhere. Let's discuss my family. I just don't know, eh? I have an uncle who settled on the Mississippi. Do you? Apologize, Miss Reed. I thought you hailed from Philadelphia. Elaborate. Called many places home throughout the years. Boston, New York, Philadelphia, and many places on this side of the pond as well. But I was born in Acadia, French colony in the northeastern coast of North America, with strong connections to the Wabanaki Confederacy. I don't know any of those words. The French colony. Then your uncle was one of the many to move south. Just so. He's still down in Louisiana, as far as I'm aware. Those Cajuns are some of my very best customers. Next to the Comanche, of course. Of course. Well then, my friends, shall we make our grand entrance? Yeah, let's head inside. Rest assured, this is not the last you've heard of the miracle of gasoline combustion. I'll have these highfalutin London types hooked up soon enough. The manor is full of richly carpeted hallways and Egyptian statues on display for tonight's party. The windows are as high as the single-story buildings, bathing every room in pale cobalt moonlight. Portraits of the Bragg family line the walls, painting every member in a positive and irreproachable strokes. The house itself seems like a monument to opulence, reminding guests of the wealth and power of their host. One sec. Lord Silas Bragg was gifted the property when he earned his lordship, but due to tensions between the original owner and the string of uncooperative architects, the matter came together piecemeal over more than a decade of building. Lacking a unified structure, most staircases lead to dead ends. There are many empty door frames and in the underground chambers, rumored to connect with a tunnel system leading back to London. What such a system would be used for is almost anyone's guess. Butler. Introducing Mr. Tenor Cunningham, visiting from the Republic of Texas, Mr. Cunningham's companion, Mr. Ironbear of the Comanche, and Miss Clara Reed of London. Is that Lady Braxton? Oh, that's the butler. I wonder if she's half as eccentric as her dear husband. Miss Reed, Mr. Tenor, Ironbear. Ooh, I like that. Welcome, friends. Welcome to Braxton Manor. Lady Braxton has been sampling the punch already, or else another strong drink. She's properly oiled up. Allow me to point out some of the esteemed company you'll be keeping this evening. There's Sir William Rathbone, animal lover. He loves the furry deers a little too much, if you take my meaning. I dearly hope I don't. And Dr. Clancy Wainwright, a talented surgeon and pharmacologist, though one wonders how much of the drugs in his lab end up in the hands of his patients. A baseless accusation as far as I'm aware, though the good doctor has been known to play lab rat for himself from time to time. Over there, we have Sir Alfred Cornham Boyle, author of escapist literature for the masses. I suppose we should be thankful they can read it all. And Lady Annabella Bryan, the one with a famous father. Pity she never amounted to much herself. Holy, she's just like laying into her guests, and I'm here for it. Is that all? Is the bloodbath over? She has quite the sharp tongue. Well, those are some of the more notable attendees. Whew, I'm getting dizzy. Is there anything I can get you? Self-service for the drinks just over there. Well, since she's drunk, let's pump her for information. Did I hear this party is featuring an unwrapping? Oh, yes! We have several ancient artifacts from the time of the pharaohs, including, well, a stone and a few other things. Just look around, you'll see. But as you say, that's not even the best part. She sways and plays a little, eyebrows raised, and waits for me to look appropriately anticipatory. We have a mummy, a real genuine dead Egyptian mummy. And the climax of the evening will be the unwrapping of our desiccated guest. As she conveys this information, Lord Braxton's demeanor can only be described as gleeful. How intensely ghoulish. Yet I must let it lie. I'm gonna actually skip asking about Lord Braxton. Mostly because, you know, I'm a prostitute and I slept with him and this is his wife. So let's avoid this whole topic of conversation if we could. Curtail the conversation. Thank you for the gracious welcome, your ladyship. Not at all. If you need anything, my servants will be glad to assist, and let me know if when they get surly. Enjoy the party. Do let me know if you need anything. Well, glad those formalities are done with. Oh my, I do believe I spied the eccentric Mr. Rathbone over yonder. That's certainly a choice for the guest list. He's hardly one to talk. And oh, by my lucky stars, is that Babbage himself? No, my mistake. Quite the shrewd countenance on that old chap, though. Can't blame a man for seeing the resemblance. Miss Reed, I've not known you to be a wallflower. Shall I assume you're off to socialize? Indeed. Have you any time to mingle on your own, or will you be keeping an eye on Tenor all evening? Miss Barney, of course. I've always been such a fan of her work. There goes Tenor off to make his mark on the London elite. Ostensibly, it is my job to keep an eye on Cunningham, but clearly, he finds himself occupied. I can find some time to myself while he's otherwise engaged. Alright, Iron Bear. Try to enjoy yourself. Same to you, Clara. Right, time to get the lay of the land in here. Gotta sign the guest book. It's just a polite thing to do. Somebody left out a book here. I found there's at least something worthwhile in just about anything published. If only I still had the spare time for reading I had in my college days. The title reads, The Tale of the Stable Boy and the Lusty Milkmaid. Isn't that from Skyrim? Oh. I'm certain it has value in its own way. Just a glance at passage. See, here the heroine is admiring the strength and posture of a horse and imagining how it must look to see it gallop. The next passage seems to be a treatise on animal husbandries, I hope. True, perhaps not all books have value after all. Let's look on the bright side. Though I may not agree with the author's goals, the book's readers now doubtless have a better understanding of equine anatomy. It's important to remember that there are chances to learn anywhere you look. I mean, who am I to judge his erotic fan fiction? The pair of ancient Egyptians, perhaps they were royalty, though royalty used to have fancier hats. Ooh, a glob. Looks to be the work of an English mapmaker, seeing as the emperor's many colonies are prominently marked. Sun never sets on the British Empire. Silas wanted to go the extra mile. He could have had these victuals gold-plated. Is that Calvin and Tessica? No, it's Tessica and somebody else. Dr. Wainwright and... there's something under him. Dr. Wainwright. He's just tagged twice. Part of me wants to wander off and see if I can find those blueprints I'm supposed to hijack for Iron Bear. Ooh, and I can wander off pretty good. Curtained room. A Rosalia stone. A stone tablet weathered by the passage of the centuries. The surface is covered edge to edge with tiny carved symbols. It's marked with a tiny plaque like a museum exhibit, the Rosalia Stone. I know what this is. Oof, hang on. I'm going to struggle with this word. The Granadioite steel was rediscovered around the turn of the 18th century by the servant, from who it was named, of the French officer during the invasion of Egypt. Originating in the Hellenistic period, its markings in Demotic Greek and the hieroglyphs provide the original translation of ancient Egyptian. It's such a priceless artifact falling to Lord Braxton's hands. What strings must he have pulled? What money changed hands or blood spilled? That's pretty cool. Lefty, what are you doing here? Well, the infamous Lefty Braun. Well, I suppose you're the last... You're just about the last person I expected to meet here. Ah, Clara, good to see you. Is that a fake mustache? Am I right to assume that Silas didn't invite you? I could hardly crash a party if I was invited. Boring. In fact, I'm glad I wasn't, because then I'd have to walk in, wouldn't I? How'd you get to the second story window? How did you get in the second story window? Just like this? Nah. I forged me own invitation, just for fun, like. So you're here for a good time? Is that the only reason, or have you been perusing the objects d'art? Objet d'art. A lady cannot help but take a gander, can she? I've been trying to keep away from the trade lately, but itch never stops. I mean, I think there might be some werewolves and steam-powered rifles here, so I'm going to go ahead and discourage her. I like her. I don't want to see her die. Considering how many people associate your name with top-level thievery, that might be rather unwise. It's a bloody shame, but you're probably right. Better not risk it. We might have just saved her life. Alright. I'm very worried that, like, peeking in one of these rooms is gonna, like, kick off the next chapter or the next event. Lord Braxton's room, with a big bed big enough for a cricket match. Maybe we'll have one. Lady Braxton's room, bigger than my entire suite of the bell jar, naturally. Oh. Not as much to see up there as I thought. Beverages. Collection of relatively cheap libations. Perhaps Silas reserves his more expensive bottles for himself.